Hey, everyone. How are you all today? I'm Regina, and you are you. So, welcome to Conversations with Regina. Gosh, it's been a heck of a week, and I've got a smudge on my glasses right in the middle of it, everything, and nothing here to clean them with. I just tried my shirt tail and it didn't work. Oh my gosh. I've been all over since the last time we talked. I went to southern Arizona I flew into Phoenix, Mesa, actually, and proceeded to drive back from there. What a great trip. So we'll get into that in a bit. Let's take care of business, oh my gosh. I'm so discombobulated today. I don't know if you can believe that, but here we go. Welcome to my channel. Hit the like button if you like at all what's going on here. We get into that algorithm by likes and subscriptions and just for your own benefit, click on that bell, get notified that we're going online. Let's do what we can to grow this channel. It's I have to be honest. I really like doing this. It's a lot of fun for me. And I kind of like to think it's fun for you guys as well. So, help me out here. And this show is brought to you by my coffee. And, the whole thing is all about coffee, drinking quality coffees, single origin varietals. I have one blend that is top-notch blend, and these are quality coffees. A few weeks back, we did a nice show with the people who supply my coffee to me, and I think we're going to expand maybe a little more into the coffee world as time goes on. Do just a segment about cupping different coffees each week or something. Maybe I'll do a pre-video thing or something. I don't know. What would you guys like to see? To learn about coffee and see if we can't do more. Just because it's my business. It's what I do, but I don't want to talk the whole show about coffee. I talk about coffee all day long anyway. So, be that as it may, www.reysroast.com, and that's REYSROAST. Because if you get the RAYS, you end up at a different roaster. And so always remember the King's Blend. The King's Coffee we don't even have a King's Blend. We've got the Queen's Blend and the King's Choice. The King's Choice is where the king comes into the room and picks a coffee out for you. And I don't know who the hell that guy is. Just saying. Anyway, here we are. So I went to southern Arizona and had a great ride back with my friend Ann, who's been on here before. And we just had fun. Lots of conversation. We were locked into a small space for hours and hours on end for 4 days in a row. And 3 nights, 4 days. And you know what? The conversation was always good. I learned a lot. She taught me so much. Like she turned me on to Abraham Hicks. And that was cool. We listened to a couple of CDs. Abraham Hicks, and that was really different, and I was just like stoked about that. Very interesting, and it's really about letting go. A lot of the things that we talk about here on this channel, and I'm trying to put that into practice, and it's just a different way of looking at the same things, and we'll get into that. Maybe we'll see where this show's really about my wanderings through the landscape and in my mind. But first, let's say hi to who's in the chat room. We've got, oh gosh, of course, we got Christy and we got Casey, my moderators. Thank you, girls. Love having you here. You two are the best, and you're great guests on my show as well. And my friend Heidi is here. Hi, Heidi. How are you doing today? And I see Louise is here too. I already said hi to Louise personally. And so who am I missing here? Did I miss anybody? I think I have recognized everyone who wants to be recognized. So that is great, So I've got to apologize to Heidi. I didn't get as far as Tucson. I only got to Mesa, and then we left almost immediately. So I didn't get a chance to like, hi, Jackie Milo. How are you doing today? Good. Good to see you. I can't figure out why this just keeps saying it's a weak internet thing, and then I'll go black there for a couple minutes or a couple seconds is all, and then it pops right back. And how do you like these earrings? Lulu brought me these the other day along with some others, and I like the way it reflects in the deal. Oh my. It says scuffed metal. Speaking about scuffed metal or whatever. So while we're in Arizona, we got on the famous Route 66. Check this out. My one trinket that I bought. Because we were on that old highway, Route 66, and that was pretty cool because, a lot of these little old towns in these areas, they got nothing going on. And so they've turned themselves into tourist traps. And it's really cool to be a lot of antique cars sitting around and all this Route 66 paraphernalia. And it's kind of cool. We stopped at a Harvest Host place and a gentleman by the name of Ruben. And he turned turned us both on to the coolest phrase about the pandemic, and it was called the pandemic pivot, and how when the pandemic came, he was talking about how he had to pivot to a different direction of making a living. And because he had been pretty much just doing little signs like this, partaking of the tourist trade, and he pivoted completely into like greenhouses and building things out of piping with a pipe bender, and it was really interesting. Just a wonderful man to talk to, and we had a great time for the little while that we talked to him on the morning, we spent the night there at his place, and then we got going the next morning after a good conversation with him. It was wonderful. Reuben was his name, at Valentine, Arizona. And if you blink your eyes, I assure you, you will drive past. And okay. Hey, good to see you, Heidi. I'm glad you're here. You just get to work, and I look forward to talking to you. Hi, Holly. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it in. And so now we can proceed. We'll just proceed right along. And so actually Valentine was like the first night that we spent on the road. And that was just a little, I don't know, 40, 50 miles out of Kingman, something like that. Oh gosh, Casey, it's quite a ways, a couple 100 miles. Anyway, I'm not sure how far it was. I wasn't paying attention. I was always kind of looking forward, but it was like 40, 50 miles to the east of Kingman, south and east of Kingman. And so it was good. Yeah, and was starting to get northern and a little different kind of desert. Fabulous, fabulous rocks. I mean, if you're into geology and rocks, I like rock formations myself. I used to love the rim rock, that we have up here in the Northwest, the inland Northwest. And so like Arizona's loaded with that kind of stuff, but they have these big boulders. And I think it's kind of like what you see at Arches and some of those places in Utah, which we didn't go through. Maybe, but I mean, there was plenty of those big boulder things, and I just love that kind of stuff. And how Jackie, no, nobody asked me to be their Valentine. Here I was trying to be upbeat about everything, and now, when I start thinking about not being somebody's Valentine, there's an old Reckless Kelly song. I don't know how old it is, 4 or 5 years, I imagine. I haven't seen much new come out from Reckless Kelly for a while, but it was like, I Hate Valentine's Day was kind of the name of the song. And, it's definitely one of those country western crying my beer kind of things. It is such a cool song, though. They're just talking about, oh God, having to be alone on Valentine's Day. That's the story of my life. At my age, Jackie, I'm not too into climbing. Although when I was at the Grand Canyon, the next stop along our way was the Grand Canyon. And that was several hours out of our way. And bless Ann for taking me out there. We went out to that place. The tribe runs it. The Wahilas? I could be wrong. Wallapie, I think is it. Wallapie. And then they have a big glass horseshoe as it's billed. And you can look right over the Grand Canyon. I mean, it goes out there. It's actually up a side canyon. And it's a long damn ways to the bottom, let me tell you. And we went out on that, and it was wonderful. I had never been to the Grand Canyon before. Never been to the Grand Canyon. I mean, at my age, look at me. You know, everybody should go there. That's a big freaking hole in the ground. We could see the water, a little bit of it. And I thought, oh, look at those boats down there. But it wasn't. It was just like a log floating by. It wasn't quite that high. I mean, it's 4,000 feet out there to the river itself. Down, straight down, 4,000 feet from the South Rim. I don't know what it is from North Rim. North Rim's considerably higher. You know, I've been to Hell's Canyon, and I'll tell you what, they say that Hell's Canyon is the deepest canyon, but it's nowhere near. It is nowhere near as grandiose as the Grand Canyon. It was phenomenal. I actually have a couple, 2-3 pictures, and I'll try and add it to the outro before next week. But you know, I am really so blessed to have gotten to go to the Grand Canyon. We spent a couple hours out there. We went also to the guano cave thing. We didn't pay to go into the guano cave, but that was up another side canyon, and it was just like strikingly beautiful. When we were there, we did see some rafts shooting down through there. Water's pretty slow right down there, and so they were small, but I mean, you couldn't really differentiate the people from the boat. You know, I didn't really notice the people moving around in there. So it was a long ways. You know, 4,000 feet is what, 3/4, maybe more of a mile. I think a mile is what, 5,200 and something feet. And Jackie, if your brother lives that close to Flagstaff, you can go to a more easterly part of the Grand Canyon, and it wouldn't be very far at all. So Holly was at the Grand Canyon in college in the 80s. And oh, Louise, you're cracking me up. Is she tall? Oh, my. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. Okay, so yeah, we're like 3/4 of a mile at 4,000 feet, roughly speaking. And oh, my stars. So I can't, you know, with my eyesight, we're not seeing people, dogs, anything moving. We're not seeing anybody row in that boat. Yeah, I can imagine, Christy. We were there midday, and there really wasn't a lot of shadows in play. On the way back, we saw another very fascinating place, was a Joshua tree forest, one of the oldest forests of that species, and largest forests of that now, and just oh gosh, 20 miles or so from the Grand Canyon on the way there. I don't know how far it was really, but it was, you know, we stopped and got out and wandered around there, and I got a picture or two from there too. I'll add that as well. I didn't really take a lot of pictures over the trip. That one day I took some pictures. When we were out on the glass walkway, you can't carry anything out there. You cannot have anything in your hands. They give you a locker, and so the only thing you can have is that key that they want you to tie to your wrist. And so, because they're very careful about despoiling the Grand Canyon, because you had to park several miles away, and then they brought buses in, and they kept track of you pretty good. You know, there were places though where there was no railing or anything. I got close, but never more than a body's, I always kept my body length. I'm so clumsy. I would fall off of that. And then I would just be splat. Wouldn't that be something? I didn't want to think about that. Oh my God, Christy, a mule train, riding a mule down. Yeah. Wow. I wouldn't ride a mule. I wouldn't ride a horse down that. I wouldn't ride anything down that. I'd walk. That's where I feel safest. I can't control no damn mule. Anyway, for an old country gal, I'm not very mule savvy or horse savvy, either one. Yeah, I'd hike. That's my modus operandi. Hike, 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 hike. Oh, I gotta fix this before it drives me crazy. There. Now back to the comments. What are you guys saying? Right. So next time you go visit your brother, Jackie, you go on out there because it's worth it. I mean, if you only go once in your life, you got to do it. And now I've gone. I was at the western end, clear out near, I think Lake Powell is right below where we were at. We did drive over, what is it, Hoover Dam. But you can't see it on the new highway, on the new bridge now, because since 9/11, they built this bridge over Hoover Dam, and it's right underneath of it, and you can't see it. You can't drop nothing on it. Excuse me. So that was interesting, and so that was the same day because I flew down on Saturday. And so that night, Sunday night, we hit Las Vegas. I this is the weirdest part of it. I got off this airplane and I sat outside. Anne came and picked me up. And then within like a half an hour, that I have never driven on a freeway in some strange town that I've never been to. I haven't driven on a freeway that busy, and I don't know how many years. How many years has it been? I don't know. 5, 6? I was down south of Portland back when I was still working. I was going down to Eugene, Oregon on Interstate 5, and the traffic had gotten bumper to bumper. You know how congested it gets. And I got rear-ended, and not the good. Well, never mind. I got rear-ended, and I kind of started avoiding freeways after that because what was happening is I was following too close, and the car ahead of me, they saw that I was about to smack them, and they took off for the median, and about that time I got smacked in the butt, and horrible experience. Never getting a wreck on Interstate 5. It didn't hurt me that much. Totaled the car that hit me, and I was able to go about do my business, except I had to pull a trailer with a huge thing back to where I was working, and it wouldn't track right. There was something screwed up in the back, and there's a single axle trailer, I think is the problem. But wow, that was quite an experience. And I ended up losing my fishing license. Did I say something wrong, Casey? Oh my God, am I going to get kicked off my own show? I didn't say anything bad, did I? See, it's so common for me to cuss that I don't even know when I do. Isn't that the shits? I'll tell you what. Oh, mercy me. I'm sure they haven't lost a mule in days. Yeah, mules are pretty common occurrence. It's not that uncommon to find them at the bottom of a canyon where they had slipped. Oh, I don't know. So that night we went through Las Vegas, and then we got up north there a little ways and just pulled out into the desert and spent the night. And that was pretty cool. I mean, huge sky, not a cloud in the sky, but it was cold, and so we didn't sit outside. And the wind was blowing, and the next day everything's rocking and rolling, and it's like being a ship on the sea. So anyway, it was a great time. And then the next night we made Buell, Idaho. Driving through Nevada was we went up Highway 93, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. There was, the high desert, of course, and then you drop down into these canyons, riparian areas where there's water going and whatnot. And there was a lot of lakes up there, and it was just gorgeous. There was this one town, I would move there in a heartbeat, Caliente. And so from the name, I gathered that there was hot springs there as well. And there's nothing wrong with sitting in a hot springs at night and watching the stars and having a good time. Oh, mercy. And so that was a really cool, and what, God, the road was over 6,000 feet in elevation. And so it was cold up there, a little bit of snow here and there, but the peaks all around us were snow covered. The Great Basin. And so then we got into Idaho, but wait, here comes my mind wandering, because we pulled into Ely, Nevada. And I've been traveling before. I normally do not have any trouble traveling. And Ely, Nevada kind of freaked me out for some reason. And so we needed to stop and eat, and we were kind of looking for restaurants, and there wasn't really anything. And I told Ann, I said, I don't really feel that comfortable here. And all this doubt started hitting me, and these things that we'd been listening to have been talking about, creating our own problems with the way we think. And so here I am going, well, I don't want to go in any place here. It's just going to be, I'm thinking that somebody's going to like out me or something and create a scene. And I'm not very comfortable with that, the way that thought pattern was. And so we got to this place, Carl Jr.'s. And I'll probably get kicked off for saying. So we went into Carl Jr.'s, and the customer service there was like, there was a little person behind the counter, I don't know, and they were just rude. They were rude to Ann. They were rude to me. Didn't have anything to do with me. But I'm just put me more on edge, and then I go into the love station there, heading for the bathroom, and who should I run into but an NB, that worked right there, and all that fear and whatnot just left me, and it was just so cool to meet another non-binary, gender fluid person, just made a world of difference. There we are everywhere anymore, and so there. I don't, we always need to think of our safety, but I'm not sure that we always need to have fear. I hate fear. It makes for doubt, and self-doubt is just this horrible thing that sometimes I get filled with. I talk about confidence and community and but I'm a human being, and there's times when that doubt comes along, and I just have to figure out how to work through it, and it is easy to work through, particularly once I realize that the fear is just some machination of my own mind. It mostly, the only basis for it is what goes on in between my ears. And it's just so totally not real most often. And Holly, I got to call you out on this. That was the only person that we ran into that was rude. We were out there with the tribe and at the Grand Canyon, and we were packed in with people all the time. And everybody was really cool. There was a lot of people from around the world, yes. But man, those people were right on, friendly. They were just dying. And Ruben, he was great. And the person I was talking to after we were sitting outside at the airport, just he was from Washington. Oh, darn. But I just thought it was a wonderful trip. That one person at that restaurant, or whatever you want to call it, fast food place, was the only person I saw that was rude. And they were just a youngster. And I just thought the people in Nevada were fabulous, in those little towns. And it was just great. But anyway, I just thought I would say that, Holly, because to let that just go when everybody that we saw was just so good. And I got to go let Tank out. I'll keep talking. I hope you can hear me. But I'll be right back. What's up, dude? Go. As you can see, I didn't get very dressed up for today. Not my normal self. We got back, oh gosh, pretty late not late, but like 7-ish. I think I got home 6-ish. I didn't get Tank back until after 9 sometime, and it was pretty much pat him on the head a couple of times and go to bed. He insisted this morning. He was so cute this morning. He comes in the bedroom about 6 o'clock. I had started moving around and because that's my new thing. I'm going to start getting up earlier. And he kind of like comes over to me as I'm trying to get some clothes on and starts wanting to be petted. And usually you pet him for a little while. You say, here, eat your food, after he's had enough. He could not get enough love. I finally got down on the floor with him and rolled around communing for a little while. And as my coffee got cold, because every 30 seconds I was having to pet him for 5 minutes. And it was just funny. My dog missed me. You guys never got the chance to miss me. I didn't miss a show. I got back in time to do my show today. Even though I'm not very prepared or anything, you're carrying on the conversation and you're in the chat room and you're just kind of listening to me ramble on. But that's just fine. That's what we do here. Oh, that, Holly, there's just a little something I had in the closet, No, I love this top. I kind of take care of it. I've had it for a long time and I just take care of it. So it stays looking pretty nice. Anyway, so we're in Idaho now at Buell Hot Springs. I can't think of what the name of it. If you're out there and tell me the name of that place, and I give them a little pitch because it was really cool. We were able to sit in our hot tubby room. We got a private room, and there we could sit and look out at the Snake River roll by. And that was fabulous. We had that room for an hour, and we had got there really late. It was a long ways from down by Las Vegas to there. But we made it, I think we pulled in at 7:30 and our reservation for the room was 8 o'clock and they kicked us out at 9 and that was their closing time. And we had a campsite there. It was a beautiful little campground, RV hookups right by the Snake River. I love the Snake River. I lived down in that just north of Buell for several years, always fishing in the life is good. Life is good. So I'm reading over here. You guys got quiet. Don't let me down here. You're keeping me going here today. So anybody have any questions about the trip, about anything? What do you want to hear about? Talk to me here. Let's keep the, Buell and Bliss. We were laughing about the names because there's Paradise Valley, and then there's Treasure Valley, and there's some other grandiose name for valleys down there. They think, and it's all this high desert, it's really, unless you really like that kind of landscape, it doesn't, it took a while for me living down there to like get used to that wide open area with sagebrush and with sagebrush. There's nothing else there. Sagebrush. There's always mountains in the distance, and then there's sagebrush close. Nobody sneaks up on anybody in Idaho. So it's interesting. Holly, I think everybody is gone today because I didn't put up a thumbnail last night. I just put a notification up about 11:15 that I would do this. And it is what it is. Hope everybody is enjoying themselves and I just, yeah, it was too late for me to do anything last night. I was beat, to put it mildly. I was beat. I mean, that's a lot of ways to drive in 4 days. After getting out, starting the day off at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the plane. Lou, you recognize those? I have been trying to get around to calling you, and thank you so much for the earrings. Jackie, I am a night person too, and if I'm not really careful, I start staying up until 1 or 2, and God, for years and years when I was working a regular job, I would like go to bed at 11, get up at 5, about 6 hours worth of sleep at night, and then when I started the coffee business, I would get like 5 hours because I started getting up at 4, and I can't go to bed earlier. Last night I was so tired when I got kind of laying around here. I went to bed at 10, fell right asleep, and so I need to start getting up a little earlier. I have gone and returned already, Lou. I have gone and returned, and got back last night, and I'm here. And you just missed the whole story. I'm pretty much done talking about the trip, unless somebody gets me started. But yeah, it's funny how those things, because when I was a young hippie, I never got up before noon, and I would probably go to bed 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and excuse me. I remember one time my landlord coming to collect rent, and he like knocked on my door at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I got up, and I was jaybird naked. I threw that door open and started screaming at him, "What are you doing waking me up before noon?" And so that was always kind of cool. He was pleasant when I went to his place to play rent. I did say that I wouldn't, but here I am talking. Hey, Beeble. Well, I'm so glad you dropped in. Good to see you alive. And thank you for the comments last week. That was great. Loved it. I hadn't seen you for a while, and so good to see you. Oh, we're just talking about my trip and not much else. I got off on one little tangent about doubt, my own doubts, self-doubt. And he didn't really talk about that a lot, Holly. I think that he pretty much just turned around and left, if I recall. He didn't get his rent right then. He could see that I didn't have the 50 on me, It was, God, can you imagine renting a place for $50 a month? That was what, 1969. I was just out of high school. It was kind of a slummy place, but still a good place. It was only $100. Top floor and a walk up. So anyway, enough of that. I do believe that Marty is doing a tea time at 2 today. She had told me that. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll let her tell you all about that. Because I really don't know. I haven't talked to her. She texted me about it before the show. And so I don't know. I mean, she told me her plan, but I'll let her tell you. Anyway, well, Louise, what do you mean you're seeing, not hearing? You can't hear me? To you kids, that seems like nothing for rent, but that was huge in those days. That was huge. One time in the 90s when I was doing, what was it? Stream surveys, I think, up in the central Idaho. We went into this, we couldn't get a room at the good motel in this little tiny town. So we went to the bad one, and the room was $25 a night. And it was overpriced. It was scary. You didn't want to touch anything. So anyway, gosh, I'm struggling here. Yeah, minimum wage in those days was $1 something an hour. I think just under $2 an hour. I think when I was a busboy, I got, because I was a busboy, I was in 68. I think I was making about $2.25 an hour in 69. If I was even working. I retired in 1969 and didn't start working again until 72 full time. And it was kind of a hand to mouth existence. It was a lot of fun. You could do that when you were young. I wouldn't want to do that now. But yeah, you're right, Casey. It was pretty environment and different thing. I have not written anything, Beeble. Gosh, you make me think that I should. It'd be good to write a story, wouldn't it? I have not written anything new. Maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, I was talking about writing this week with Anne and saying how I was never going to write a story about myself. I mean, a nonfiction autobiography, because people say all the time, "Oh, Regina, you should write a book." And I'm thinking, Not in this lifetime. I sit down, I've started that book 100 times, and I never get past that first paragraph because I just don't like to write about myself. Well, there's Marty right there. Hi, sweetie. How are you? We were just talking about your tea time today. And I was saying that, yes, that you were having one at 2, but I didn't know anything else. Well, if you talk to my friend Lulu, you might be able to talk her into making you some. I'm not sure. So, Holly, I have had my short stories published before. Maybe one day I'll read it on as a video and upload it for those of you who would anybody be interested in that? It's about 10 pages or what, 3,000 words or something, 4,000 words. Yeah, it was, who has morality? What are you talking about, Casey? Oh, hi, Eileen. How are you? Well, then maybe I'll do that. I've been thinking about doing some short videos and just doing some other stuff to kind of flesh out this channel a little bit besides my Wednesday lives and it'd be fun to like do it with a story. I think that probably take a half an hour to read that story aloud, but we could like maybe split that into 3 different videos. Would it be better as like say thirds, or would it be better all at once? It is just a short story. It's probably a 15-minute read, no more than that. Well, good. I'm glad you're great. So, talk to me and we will do what we can. Oh, good, Casey. That's wonderful. Holly, that is not going to happen. I'm not going to write a story about myself. I'm not going to write my autobiography. It doesn't appeal to me to write that. I'm sorry. I'd rather write fiction because my life, when I write fiction, is wrapped up in the experience of that story. And so like the one that I'll read for you here soon, there's a lot of that is kind of factual, and then the characters are make believe, but the things the places, the landscape is all very real. And it's interesting. I think a lot of fiction, unless you're into genre fiction and just pumping out book after book after book, or like spy tales, God, most of those guys aren't spies and have no idea, but it requires them to do a lot of research. And writing the way that I do, I'm lazy. I'm not doing research. I'm writing about things that I do, that I know, and it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll either be good or I won't do it. you know. Did you hear that phone ding? Son of a gun. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Casey, you're so funny. Oh, have you ever tried meditation before? You know, I have, and I'm like one of the world's laziest meditators. I mean, I did a real quick little meditation right before I started this show because I was very kind of uptight, nervous, and you know, I like to meditate with a I sometimes do an Nam Myoho Renge Kyo kind of Buddhist chant thing. And other times I just try to clear my mind. I basically do deep breathing meditations. And so they're pretty short. Um, you know, but I always take quiet time. Sometimes I just let my mind go and watch what I'm and contemplate what I'm thinking about. And you know, that's the way I do meditations, whether it's right. I've heard, you know, it's said that, you know, if you there's really no wrong way. So I do what I do. I certainly enjoy the quiet time. I want to write a book. I have a lot of stories that are true, maybe would help someone else. I have the title and some stuff already just to try to put it in order. Cool, cool. Go for it. One of my teachers in college, and I went to college when I was in my 40s. And one of my teachers had just published a book about her life growing up in central Idaho there. And she was a beautiful person, you know, in many ways. Anyway, when I got done reading her book, and it was up for like a Pulitzer Prize or something, you know, she would place second in the, you know, it was some big literary deal, and I thought, you know, I have just read stuff about this woman who I respected and admired that I didn't want to know, you know, and so that's always kind of the way that I've looked at autobiographical stuff is, you know, some of this is just stuff people don't want to know. And I particularly think that about my own life. I mean, some of it's none of your business, you know, and here I am. I'm willing to talk about my life, but I'm not going to write it, you know. So I applaud anybody who wants to go down that path. You know, more power to you. But myself is just not. It's just, you know, I am Regina, and you are you, and what we, you know, hallelujah. Not everybody in this world is like me. I love that about the world, you know? Oh, my stars. Well, can you imagine how boring it'd be if everybody was like me? Oh, so it's just the way I look at the world, you know, and so you know, Holly, my life as a fish biologist was interesting, and I'll talk about it, you know, sometime. But you'll see some of the stuff pop up, and if I would get busy and start writing short stories, and you know, I had a wonderful time as a fish biologist. I particularly liked the years that I was home very little in the summertime, that I spent camping. I slept on the ground 60 days a year, and just wonderful, wonderful experiences. And oh my stars. But I think there's other times of my life that are just as interesting. And so, it is. And that's a good point, Jackie. A really good point. That it would be cathartic to write about. And maybe it would be for me too. I don't know. That I think that there's still a lot of pain in there that I'm just not ready to talk about or to write. And I just don't know. Let's peel some more layers off this old onion and see where it goes. I think that you make a really good point, and I really hadn't thought about it. But we all experience. Hey, bye, Marty. Love you. See you later. See you on your show. Did Louise leave too? What's this? Hey, thanks, Heidi. A quick launch. Hey, bye, Louise. Anyway, much love to you, Louise, and we'll talk soon, I hope. So let's get back to the cathartic book. I think that's really cool, Jackie. That you bring that up because that is a lot of, because we all have these traumas and despairs and whatnot, particularly in our world, of exist, of our existence, and the thing about it all is how do we get that out? How do you make that in and I think that's part of why I have trouble, is because of the pain that I haven't processed yet. And because here I am, 70 years old, and you asked me about my childhood, and I have no idea what to tell you about my childhood. I don't remember that much of it. And is it because of the traumas and the weird things that happened to me? Is it the reason that I had to grow up as little Ray instead of little Regina? Is it I just don't know, because it's been, because I blacked it out. And I don't know what other people remember and what they don't. And so I don't have an answer for that. What's everybody else think? I mean, we talk a lot about remembering. I don't. Uh, oh, mercy. So anyway, I don't remember. I don't remember what it was like being a kid. There was always something. I always wanted to be somebody else, and that's really what I remember. And I understand, Jackie. I understand, and so but what's Christy saying? oh, Christy, good one. Good. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, sadly, I think there's enough of all of that in my life. Oh, mercy. You know, oh gosh. Um, childhood, that would probably be a good topic. Maybe get Chloe on here sometime, try and get Chloe and then have childhood memories as the discussion and try and figure stuff out. But then that might be too emotional and traumatic for a lot of us too. I'm not sure how much I want to know. So anyway, perfect, Casey. Perfect. Mm. So anyway, you guys, where are we at here? Any questions? Well, I get what you're saying, Christy. I get it. I can understand writing to help people, but I'm not sure that it requires to be writing about my own life. And so I don't know. Probably enough about writing books and I could probably go on and write about that or talk about that uh, all day long, denying the fact that I'm going, oh, Jackie, don't go down this path. Just sex with myself, dancing with myself. I don't remember the song, but I do remember sex with myself and dancing with myself. That was yesterday. Oh, no. Did I say that? Did I say that? Well, there's some trauma. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I suddenly got strangely emotional, and I'm so grateful for that. But I don't know how to. I get it, Christy. I'm glad I get emotional when people bring stuff up and it strikes me. God, the other day, Ann and I have been talking about all this spiritual stuff, and she was telling me about this song, and so yesterday we decided we're going to listen to music for a little while, and so I plugged my phone in, and she said, "Oh, play some Van Morrison." And so I plug in the thing, hit the shuffle button on Van Morrison, because I've got I think it said 15 albums of Van Morrison on my Amazon cloud, and so there it was. It came on. It was Into the Mystic, and I started singing that, and that was the song that we had been talking about the day before, and here it was, popped up first of all the songs out of 15 albums. I don't know how many hundred songs that is, at least 150, probably closer to 200, and that's the one that pops up. And there's this synchronicity to everything in life. And as I'm sitting there singing along with that song, I start crying, and it was just such a touching moment for me for some reason, to all that coming together into this mystical song, and it was really pretty fabulous. And so feeling, well, maybe maybe I'll try just an experience and see if I can make it. I can only try. I can try. And there was so many memories in this little mind up here about different things, different experiences, different landscapes. Landscape is big for me. I don't know. I've always been a biologist. I guess you can probably understand why. Oh my, Holly. I have trouble not calling well, never mind. I don't want to go down that path. There you go, Jackie. Walking through the pain. I mean, there is so much to walk through, and we're not victims. I love that. I love that comment. And I'm grateful for you saying that, because we don't have to be victims to that pain. I don't have to be stuck, and that is so true. And it's not always easy to not get stuck. Did that come out right? It's not always easy to be free, to go, to get through it. Sometimes it requires work, but we can do it. Amen. Look at this. Yeah. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Whoa. Where did I hear that before? Right on. Right on. Wow. We're really getting places here. Nice. Very nice, Christy. Very nice. Was that recently? Wow, what a beautiful thought, though. Love it, love it, love it, you guys. Well, then maybe I need to start with one of those segments out of of my past experiences and see if we can start working through some of the shit that's buried deep in my black little soul. I don't know. I don't know what's there. Um, there's more to it. There's more to everything than meets the eye. I'm sure there's more to work on. Trust me. Oh, 3 months ago. Cool. That's beautiful, Christy. Beautiful. you know, that's crazy beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. In a good way. In a good way. Oh, wow. 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 I don't know. This just seems so natural today. I'm just kind of chatting with you guys and I'm just totally enjoying myself. But I think that I'm going to have to get going here soon. Uh, for your comic, or did you write a story for your? I'm unclear, Casey. Amen. Let's all refuse to be victims. We don't have to do that. We're not a victim of the pandemic. We're going to do the pandemic pivot. We're going to write a song about the pandemic pivot and do something new, do something different, and get through this. That's what else have we got to do? Nothing. Put one foot in front of the other and do the next right thing. So well, that's probably what we should do. When I journal and stuff, and when I was doing that, what was the name of that writing program last year? And write 3 pages a day. I got into a lot of that stuff, and it is cathartic to go through some of that. I forgot about that. But it's very private. When I'm journaling, I always write that stuff down and think of it as never being, I mean, to like write it and throw it away, or to sit on it, but not to read it, not to, it's not for anybody else. It's just for me. And so that's the good part about all that. Oh, what did I see about the pandemic pivot dance? I love that. The new dance craze. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you now, Casey. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like your comic because it is so autobiographical. Biographical. If I could talk, it would help. Maybe. Oh, what do we got going, Holly? Some of the things that were so very important are not so much now that my husband is sick and fighting for his life. How is Byron today? Oh, I hope he's well, Holly. My heart goes out to him. And that is a pivotal point. The pandemic pivot needed to happen right there. And so there you go. That's how it starts. God, sorry. I am just. Well, let's take it to her here. Excuse me, just a second. Guys will have to excuse me while I have the cough drop in my mouth. Um, so, shall we just start wrapping this up? Let's go back to I believe that next week what was weird? Little side story here. So I fly off to Arizona, spend 4 days driving back. All that time, I never sneeze. I get into the Walla Walla Valley here and start having a sneezing fit. It was just crazy. And now, ever since I've been home, coughing and sneezing, and I hadn't sneezed once in all the time I was gone. Wow. That's got to be tough, Holly. I mean, as I say, my heart reaches out to you guys. Yeah, no. So anyway, next week, Lara, and we're going to be celebrating Earth Day on the 21st. Earth Day is the 22nd. And so Lara and I are going to talk ecology and Earth and Mother Earth and being good stewards of the planet. And so I think it's going to be a really great show. Provided she can still come. I haven't had a chance to talk with her or anything since she's been back or since I've been back. And it'll be good. It'll be good. And if, I'll keep y'all posted. But I'm looking forward to doing that. I think that'll be a really good show. And what a great time today's been. This is like the highlight of my week doing this show. I absolutely love chit-chatting with you guys, and this is how we've gotten through the pandemic, and what a great way to get through it all has been. There's not a lot of us, but there are those of us who count, and we're the ones who are here. And so, more power to us. I just think the world of like you guys, and we're in this together. We need to go through our life not being victims, to be strong, be confident women, and hold our heads up and walk through life. And we've got each other to fall back and lean on. We try not to bicker and fight and with anybody, what's the point? And so let's just keep trudging on, trudging that happy road of destiny. And I think that's going to be it for me today. As I said before, I love you guys, and thank you so much for being here with me today. Your presence means more to me than you'll ever realize. And so I just want to say thank you, and love you, and we'll see you later. I'm going to turn on my outro now. And so go back and imagine the Grand Canyon being added to this, and we'll make it work somehow. And the Joshua trees, I love those things. They were just so cool. And hey, we'll see you in 7 days. On the 7th day, then there was conversation with Regina. So take care and love you all. Bye-bye.